So in America, in the next couple of weeks, we have a presidential election coming up. Earlier this year, I read Wide Awake by David Levithan, which is about a presidential election in a time in the near future. I kind of get the impression that the main teenage characters in the story would be our kids or maybe our grandkids. All the issues we have right now, they escalate into a time that they called the Greater Depression. And there was a war, and things just went from the bad point that they are right now to worse. And America has just gotten over those hardships, and they're kind of in this new rebirth, very hopeful phase. Um, and a man is running for president, and he is elected, and his name is Abraham Stein, and he has two things in common with the main character of the story. He is Jewish and he is gay. So once Stein is elected president, the state of Kansas decides that they want to do a recount of their ballots to see if he actually won. Kansas was one of the important swing states in that election, and they don't think that they want to grant him the presidency. So Stein comes on TV the next day and says to everyone, "Come to Kansas. I'm going to be there. Let's rally and be there and oppose this just by sheer presence." So Duncan, the main character, he wants to go, and you go through his many obstacles of getting his friends to go with him and getting his parents to agree with it, and it's just about their trip. The characters in the story are very diverse and very accepting, for the most part, the main cast is. And they have a lot of ideas that, in a way, to our modern sensibilities, seem a little outlandish, but really they're not. Which brings me to the Jesus Revolutionaries, which is one of the religions they discuss in the book. A lot of Duncan, who, as I said, is gay and Jewish, his friends are what they call themselves Jesus Revolutionaries, and it's a branch of Christianity where everybody's very accepting and loving and open, and I really relate to that, and I think it's great. They do get opposition by a more traditional and closed-minded group of religious people that come up in the novel as well. But for the most part, the main characters, the young adults, are very open-minded and very accepting and loving of everyone, which I think is great and it really brings in on that tone in this story that's very positive. One thing that I thought was kind of an interesting side note is the novel takes place in the future, and it was actually written in 2006. And in 2006, the novel's idea of the future made a comment about how there had been a woman president, a president who was a woman, but there had not yet been a black president. And I think it's kind of interesting how that didn't quite work out, the way actual reality played out, just as a note. But I think in the story, Wide Awake presents a very open and accepting and inclusive America that we should all be striving for. And like I said, it doesn't go into anything terribly political that's relevant to now, but I think as we're heading to the polls, we should consider some of the messages in it and really think about what we want to strive for the future.